How daft is that? Some costumes in.
Where are we going?
You have desk mics if you wish to sit down.
We usually tend to walk around and stuff.
Would you like to borrow the once I've done the intro, you can look after this microphone. Welcome, Tabitha.
Hi.
Welcome, Nic. This is a bit weird because normally I watch these guys on Twitch stream. So if you follow Tabitha, has Artyfakes. Artyfakes. So just literally my first drink walking past. It's my local memory. Do watch her Twitch streams. Just an easy path for me. I'm just handing my microphone over to these guys and I'm going to sit down and be educated. So thank you.
Are you all having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're going to kick things off. So first of all, our panel is about prop making and how to use foam and creating awesome costumes.
For those of you, which one am I using here? Any of these?
Oh.
No. As I said, this is a bit of a larger stage than we're used to, so Tabs will probably wander around while I chat to you guys. If you've not heard of us before, we make foam and latex props. We always get asked about how to make swords, so this particular presentation covers latex swords. But if anyone wants to ask us or stop us, or to be honest, ask us questions as we go along. Because if you ask us at the end, we probably missed the slide.
Yeah, before we do the slide, I just want to say who we are in case you guys don't know who we are, because probably not you don't. So basically, that's my dad. And I'm a cosplayer, so I go up and down the country to different countries, and I basically show costumes that I make from my favourite TV shows, from my favourite movies, computer games, and yeah, we run a company that also make commissions as well, so if you guys don't know how to do it, we can make items for you. We also do a live stream, which the lovely gentleman just said on stage, and that's basically where we put cameras up in our studio and people can watch us make props. And we're happy to give tips and give you advice on how to make things.
Yeah, foam and latex is a really, really versatile and easy product to work with. So we're going to go over some really basic ideas about how to make a sword, but as I said, it will cross over to other things at the same time. Just ask, just stop us, literally that's what we're here for. He's supposed to be a bit more interactive than just us chatting on stage.
Yeah, I just explained the bathrobe as well. So I didn't have time to make a new costume for this convention. So I actually did cosplay on a budget, which is really cool because when you're making costume, money is a massive factor and lots of us don't usually have it. So what I've done is actually I've got a fancy dress costume and I just did it up myself. I got boots, cut them, added a bit of foam onto them, and you can see there I've got Princess Leia boots because the costume didn't come with boots. I want you guys to take me a bit more seriously, so I put on a bathrobe.
Because that really helps.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so one of the most popular questions we get asked is, how do you make a sword? So this slideshow is not very glamorous, but hopefully the information is the important thing and you guys go away today knowing at least how to sort of make a sword.
Right, okay, let's see, let's go. Yes,
Hungry.
just shout. Okay, we covered that bit. Okay, next. Right, okay. One of the things we really need to get over is how easy it is to use this stuff. Foam and latex, if any of you have tried it, is pretty much the next best thing to cardboard and poster paint. You can use it to really good effect, but generally it's really cheap to work with. As you can see, we only use hand tools, to be honest. We can use power tools, but pretty much that's it. It's a ruler, and some knives.
If you guys have a question, just like raise your hand, be like, wait, stop, you're going too quick, or you're speaking in a funny language, or can you slow down, or I've got a question, just let us know, just stop us.
Is that the signal? We need a paint.
Ah, it worked.
Okay. Right, you need some easy questions.
Okay. So some more tools you can do. You can get some really great effects with the soldering iron. You can get great detail and just intricate little pieces that you can carve into the sword. I wonder if I've got anything over here. Yes, I do. So this is a katana blade, and this is just the blade of it. But we used a soldering iron to get that blood groove right in there. And it's just use a ruler, put it up, all the way down. I'm going to pass this in the audience, feel free to pass it back.
Okay, one of the reasons we've actually put up the glue is that's the first thing everyone asks us. What glue do we use? It is a contact adhesive called Artyfakes. It's a fantastic glue, and you can get it in most hardware shops or online, which I suggest. But we're always available to answer any questions. Like I said, if we get a bit more too technical, then just shout. We'll go on. Okay, how to make a sword. 101. Right, the first thing you have to do basically is find the suitable core. You can use wood and you can use metal, but we tend to use carbon fibre or glass fibre rods, basically. They're not as expensive as you think. A rod for about a metre is about £5. It's not exactly expensive, and it's really, really strong. If you can just demonstrate, it's like bending a sword round, that would be great.
So they got big.
Basically, they're a lot stronger. They don't shatter and they don't bend like metal. So,
I just show you how durable this stuff is. Watch your ears, guys.
if any of you guys out there that laugh, you know this stuff is pretty strong.
Solid.
All your
Not gonna
balls.
break.
And it's pretty safe.
Sorry.
Okay, so the first thing you've got to do is you've got to get your rod into we make a sandwich basically. So Tabitha, I think you've got a couple of examples.
Yeah, I'll put these out in the audience as well. So that's what you want to create. The core in the middle, sandwich either side. Really simple.
Yeah, this is a really simple way of making any kind of weapon, or even a gun, or anything that needs a core in it. That's just the simple. So, pretty obvious next stage. You cut out whatever the shape of your core is. You cut it out in the middle of your piece of foam. We use plastisone. Again, if anyone wants a bit more detail of this, or you can get some afterwards, or you can contact us, watch our Twitch streams.
A nice cheap foam to use as well. You can use like yoga mats. They're really easy to buy, like camping bed mats. There's other stuff. Just go onto eBay and you can type in plastisone.
That's the easiest way to buy it. Plastisone is pretty good at it. Play it.
Do you make the sandwich first before you cut the solution?
Yes. Yeah, so that sandwich that you pass out the big sort of block, the foam block with the corn stuck out of it. Yeah, that's what we do. But basically you'll see as we go. That's a secret. So we obviously cut that out, literally we run a knife along the side of whatever we're using as the core. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so we end up with a hole now. To stop the rod, or the tip of the rod coming through, what we do is we put a little tip on the end. So we use the bit that we cut out, and we stick it on the end of the rod. This is just to show that you can use any type of core as well. You don't have to just use straight ones. If you've got coat hanger wire, or anything that's got a curve on it. Yep.
It depends how long you've been making them.
And it depends on the sort. One about it will only take us a day. Even if you're
just take your time. There should be no deadline. If you want to give it a go, just work it, take it nice and slow. And if you make a mistake, then learn from it. It doesn't matter if you go wrong.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, you're quite right. It's not a race. So when you do make something, just start and see how it goes. As I said, this one, we actually used to curve this. I don't know if any of you are aware, or if any come against anything that's curvy. But the stuff we use here to curve the rod is underwater heating tubing. So, you can get it from most pumpers. It's about £1 a metre. It's not expensive. It's got an aluminium core in it, so you can use it for pretty much anything. It doesn't stay in shape if you really bash it, but for a cosplay prop, it's fantastic. Really, really useful. And all I've done there is just shove it on the end of a glass fibre rod. Okay, this is another picture of the tip. So literally the tip you just stick on to the top of the end. There we go. Right, the next stage is we then cover them both in hockey tape. Again, it is exactly what it says on the tin. It's for hockey sticks. It's really, really good, strong cloth tape. And you just roll it up.
Here's what I did earlier.
There you go.
You hand looks very pretty there,
It
Dad.
does. Come in with paint as usual. Right, then we cut the tip down. So
Just about knives, guys. If you're struggling with your knife and you can't cut through the foam, if you start sawing at it, going upwards and down, stop. Your blade is blunt. You need a new knife. A lot of people, they struggle. They're like, oh, I'm really bad at cutting, and it's not that. It's just you need a new blade. You need a sharp blade. You can't cut with a blunt blade.
Yeah, we run training courses, and the first thing we do is to be honest, to go over what knives to use. That sounds really, really basic, but most people don't. We use extendable bladed Stanley knives. They're fantastic. If you get a metal one, you'll never need another one. It'll last you forever. But you must keep changing the blades. You just have to. That's part of the thing. And even for younger builders, you do have to get used to cutting towards yourself. Now that I know
sure there's
is
an
not
adult with you.
Make sure you just got to be, as long as you've really got to be safe about it, but you can't cut everything away from yourself. It just it won't work. Okay, so there we go. This is another one. That's another blade we use. That's the hockey tape. It comes in a reel about
Top of the cut the tip.
Right, glue pot is what we use, as you can see. Any old bristle brush, the cheaper the better. Just try and knock out some of the bristles before you start painting away. It is double-sided glue, contact glue, so you do have to paint on both sides. The thinner the better with contact adhesive. There we go, that's me in it, you can see this. So you literally coat both the rod and the tip and the groove with the contact adhesive. Right, now normally the contact adhesive, you will wait till it's dry. When you're actually putting something into a groove, you can't. You have to use it wet, otherwise it will just stick as soon as you get there. So that is a tip. You will figure out if you get it wrong, but yeah, you always use it wet when you put it into something.
You're trying to not sound dirty here, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so there we are. Right, okay, once it's stuck in, once your rods are tipped and they're stuck in, and to make sure the rod doesn't come out on either side, we use a bit of leather, something you find a long leather bag or a long leather coat.
Yeah, you can go to a charity shop and pick up some leather trousers for like £5 and then just cut them up. Has everyone seen the little sandwich blanks going around now? Yeah, feel free to pass them back to the front after everyone's seen.
Okay, so then we just stick on the top. Same thing again, just apply the glue, stick on either side. You don't have to do this.
That's a picture from one of our training courses.
You don't have to do this, but we would advise to do it because it's just safer. Sooner or later, somebody you know will pick it up and try and hit you with it. So, best.
Well, at conventions, you know, people would like walk around with massive hammers or like you've seen Harlequin, and they'll just rest it on their shoulder because it's heavy, and they'll just turn around and whack someone in the face. With this stuff, if it hits you,
okay, so let's
totally
just go through the motions with everyone. And there we are, stuck. And we do that on both sides. So it's now completely sandwiched and safe, that tip's not coming out. Right, icky. The glue has quite a lot of salt on it, and you do have to be careful, and you do have to spread it very thin. So if you are going to use this stuff, outside would be best,
yeah.
Or in a very large room, which is use it, and or with some kind of respirator. Basically, spread it out, get out. Don't sit there and breathe the fumes, and it's pretty strong stuff. Yeah, this stuff we use is not liquid, it's a pixotropic substance. It's like baby food, basically, but it means it doesn't go all over the place. It's fantastic stuff. Yeah, there you go, you get the idea. Nice thin coats. Right, once it's dry, which only takes 5 minutes in normal room temperature, you literally you can put this stuff together. Now, in days of old, this stuff would actually stick immediately. The product we use now, actually, if you stick it accidentally, it will allow you to lift it up, which is useful when you get it wrong, which you will. I still do. So once it's stuck, you layer it gently down. As you can see, we did 2 bags a month. I mean, most people only make one thing at a time, but obviously we make multiples. So it's stuck down. We use an old tape gun.
Yeah, you really want to push it down. You can sit on it. You can just whack it, rolling pin maybe, got from the kitchen.
Yeah, anything that really adds some weight to it.
You don't want those coming apart. You really want a really solid, tight stick.
Right, so once you've flattened it, That's it, that's what you've just seen passed around. You now get your sandwich. Right, you don't want to be cutting that straight away. You have to leave it for 24 hours.
Needs to dry.
It needs to cure, otherwise the glue just will not, it will come apart.
These would be like sizes of daggers, by the way. That's not so.
Okay, so there's your plate now, as we've got some to show you around. You can see the sandwich. In this case, that's a 6mm, it's 8mm in the middle, the same size as the rod, with two 6mm pieces on the other side. You can use anything. As long as you get the idea, you can use floor matting, anything, whatever thickness you want. The next thing we do, once we've waited our 24 hours, is we mark the tip.
There you go.
Feel with your fingers, find out where it is. There you go, and use a marker just.
Don't worry about marking the foam, it'll just spring back.
Use a good marker actually, I'll tell you a story. We once used some cheap ones from like Townland or whatever. And once the sword was done, like we saw these pink runes coming through the sword and we're like, what the hell is that? And the marker actually bled through and we had like...
Yeah, one of the salt was in the cheap marker. So use Sharpies. They're the ones
yeah, so use Sharpies.
Okay, then we use, obviously when you're using knives, metal rulers.
Don't cut your finger up. It looks like it's going to cut his finger up.
Yeah, make sure when you're using anything like this, you keep a well track of your fingertips. Otherwise they won't be on your fingertips for long. So we mark that out. You can do, this is the point where you can do any shape and size at all. Whatever rod you put in there, this is where you get creative. So you can see here we've got a leaf-bladed dagger being made here. So there we are. We've cut it out of the blade. Now you can keep the spare foam. That's always useful as well. Don't throw it away. Let's see, you start off with this very blocky shape.
Has anyone got that sword in the audience? Has anyone? It's got like a blade.
It's a
looks
half-finished one. Is that around? Just about somewhere.
Okay, we're going to do it.
It went somewhere.
It's probably on a seat somewhere.
Okay. So you can use normal sanding. Now we do use bench sanders for this because it's quicker. We obviously we're a business, so we do have to work with speed. And if you can get them, fantastic, use them. But you can just use a good old block of foam or block of wood with a bit of sandpaper around it. That's using a bench sander, but it's not necessary. You can just use a block of wood. The next thing is you want to put an edge on it. Ah, there we are. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like.
Well, that's to show you the next stage and make it more sense. Okay, so I've got the middle of it. Again, you can do this by eye, but the best way is literally just run a black mark down the middle and on the edge. As you can see, you just literally mark the edges. And then what we're going to try and do here is we're then going to cut the edge off. And this will give you don't want to do it too pointy, because you'll have so little foam left that it'll be so flimsy that it'll just dent every time you hit anything with it.
Again, you find it's easier to cut towards yourself, but please.
Yeah, this is where lots of people sort of start panicking. You just, as long as you take care and you're slow and you use a sharp knife, you can cut towards yourself. You've just got to take it easy. And practice a bit on maybe the offcuts that you already use. Before you start straight away on the blade of your weapon, try it on the offcuts. So I've got a few of these. You can just see literally how it's a pretty straightforward cut. But this looks a lot easier than it is. It does take a while to get the hang of that.
Just practice. Any questions so far? No? Good to go?
Oh, is there a question?
Sorry.
Okay, so there you go. So we try and get it off in one piece. If you manage to cut it all in one piece, then you'll know you've kind of not created a very jagged edge. You want a nice smooth finish at both. That's the way unless you want a jagged edge, of course. So there you go. Oh, that's the back edge of the sword. Rather than just leave it flat, we also bevel the edge. Right. So you'll be able to see this a bit more when we pass the other one around today. So we literally just take a bit off the back edge. This is a very simple sword blade. Just to demonstrate, you can do any sorts of shapes. There we go. that really shows you, because that's the lines you need to have cut down. So we now have a cut edge. There we are. So that's the profile. Now it still won't be absolutely perfect, so again, a little bit of sanding, that'll get it much, much cleaner. And you can do anything, that's from a Sci, I think, from the Legion's weapon. So you can use the same technique on any kind of foam base. There we are, do the same, do so many times. Then we clean up the bottom edge, because you've got all this wastage that we've got at the end. It's best just to cut that down. There we go. So we've got a nice, clean sort of, right. This is moving on a little bit. So
that's the soldering iron I was talking about earlier, yeah.
If you hand out the blade again, that'll make more sense to people now.
I did. Oh, well, we did that already.
Okay, well that now is pretty much where we're at the stage that we're at the slide.
We've thinned up the bottom and we've designed the blade fully.
So you get quite a nice elegant finish. Yeah, we go back to the soldering iron. The way the blade groove was put into, or the mark down the blade, which is soldering iron was used. This is a little fine point soldering iron, but also put some detail. Now again, this is just pertinent to sword blades at the moment, but you can use it for anything. Right, now this is the cross guard on now wearing katana. We just put a simple disc on, or super. Again, Japanese. Okay. Again, on other swords you can make all sorts of pieces and just duplicate them out. You can pretty much make any design you want.
That's very similar to this sword here. It's got a little handguard.
And the foam that chap's using is literally the same foam. It's just a thicker version of it. If you can't get a thicker version, just glue some more foam together and you'll get as thick a layer as you want. And then we're going to put a little collar around it, the bottom of the sword.
It just heats up the drum.
Yeah. Right, that's using a soldering iron to put the hole in the disc.
If you are copying a sword, say for a cosplay, get as many reference images as you can. Google is your best friend. You can literally go online, type in what the sword you want to make or whatever prop it is, and get as many images as you can. Not just from the front side, but get from around the back, you know, the top view, the under view, and just look at your reference images.
Yeah, but this is fairly self-explanatory stuff. It is really quite straightforward. So there we are, then we're going to stick it on.
With the same glue.
With the same glue. Always use the same glue. As I said, we only, because it's quite fumey, we don't put too much out, we just put it on reset. Don't use a plastic one because it will melt it. You want to use other coffee cups.
Just don't drink from it.
Don't get confused. Right, so we're just going to stick an edging on the disc just to make it a bit more interesting than just a plain disc.
I can't tell you how many times I've put my brush in my drink as well.
So there we are. So we've got so that just smartens it up, rather than just leave it as a blank finish. And the addition of a little extra bit on the disc really does make all the difference. Okay, so you've got to get really fancy. Then again, this is a young lady demonstrating how to soldering lots of detail.
Lady Sith sword from 4. Has anyone seen 4? Yeah.
So you probably recognise the blade. Again, this was done on a training course, so this literally was the first time she'd made anything like it. So with a bit of direction, she cut all the blades, she cut did all the soldering. So you see, it's not particularly, it doesn't take her long. It's a couple of hours of practice to get to that stage. Right, we don't glue everything. Really, really strong carpet tape, double-sided carpet tape is also fantastic for anything that's like a handle, because you don't need to glue it on, and the glue obviously takes time, so we avoid it if we can. So we just cover it in a foaming double-sided tape, and then we wrap the whole thing, take the double-sided tape off, or the backing, and then we wrap it around the handle. And then we do it again to get the thickness that we want. There we go. And then there you go, so you've got the rod right in the middle, you've got the first layer of foam and then the second layer of foam. So you've got a nice, strong base for your handle.
So that's what I would wrap around this part.
Now, a katana handle is not just round, so we just flatten off both sides. Again, if you want a shaped handle, this is the point you can do it. You just shape it to whatever shape you want. And then we use good quality electrical tape. Again, if you use the cheap stuff, we've tried using the cheap stuff, believe me, it's not because we're, snobby about the tape. We tried using it, it doesn't work. You really need a good pull on it to really bind the handles down properly.
You want to pull it quite tight, but it might snap, so just start it all over again.
So there you go. We've literally made the whole thing pretty much out of foam and glue and a rod and some tape. Now obviously you'd have seen that there's a rod that is sticking out of the pommel of the sword, so we now have to put a foam bow on the end basically to make sure that doesn't come off. So that's just a patch that puts on the end. And then we do the same as we did around the bottom of the blade. We just put a wrap of foam around the end. There you are. Done. And we just sand anything off gently. That can be done with a hand sander again, here it's on big sander. Right, this is where you take over. This is the latexing bit.
So people, when they make weapons, they'll love the cutting side, and then they'll forget all about the painting. Now you've got to put in as much effort into the cutting as well as the painting, because it can be a good paint job can bring your weapon to life, and a naff one, well, you just.
Latex isn't just paint. Really, latex is natural rubber. It's tree sap.
It's more like you want to apply it to you. Who paints nails? Anyone here paint nails? Yeah. Yeah, so liquid latex is like nail varnish. It's quite thick. Once you've done a brush stroke, you don't really want to go back over it. So yeah, if you paint nail varnish, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's funny old substance to work with, but you do get the hang of it. Okay, so what are you doing here then?
So before I put on latex, it doesn't want to stick to the foam, so we actually mix up our own special glue formula that it sticks to. We use you can use the same glue, but you just want to thin it down, and we use a Artyfakes cleanup fluid to do that, which you can get in B&Q.
Yeah, it seals it up a bit, but as I said, as Tabitha said, it's mainly to make sure it sticks to the actual foam. Otherwise you end up with like a rubber sock that comes off.
Okay.
Right.
So here I'm just applying the latex. You can use bristle brushes, but I find by using a foam brush you get a smoother finish, and it just looks far better. And Dad forgot to turn his phone on.
Yeah, I did.
Jelly brushes, again, you can get it on eBay. And like the knife, if you feel that the paint job starts to look bubbly or it's starting to scratch, chuck the brush, get a new brush in.
The latex again you can get on eBay. I think it's about a tenner a litre. 1 litre will do a sword, no problem at all. It is pretty, it's a natural product, it's not particularly toxic, but it does smell. Because to stabilise the tree sap and stop it from curing, they use ammonia. So it smells like rotting flesh, really.
Flies love it. As soon as you get latex out, all the flies will suddenly be in the room and it's like, go away.
So this stuff's not going to kill you, but it does stink. So be aware.
It smells bad, yeah. And now the more layers you put on it, the stronger it will be. So, like I showed earlier, I'll just show you again. This is the latex which makes the foam durable. Like, yeah, super strong. I can drop it on the floor, I can stamp on it, and it's totally fine.
It's really good, not just for weapons, but for costume that you think, oh, it's going to get a lot of kicking around in a boot over the years, a boot of a car, or getting to and from cons. It's really good stuff. And there we go. We also use foam brushes.
I said that.
Oh, you did? Okay. Don't avoid bristles.
Yeah, so you can use bristle brushes, so if you want, say, a wood effect, where you want that streaky line, then yeah, use a bristle brush. But you can still get that same effect with the foam brush, and it looks better, in my opinion.
There we go. Same again.
That's painful. Concentration phase. So after, I tend to put 2 to 3 hand coats on, and then what I do afterwards is I dip it into a whole big barrel of the stuff, and it absolutely smells. But you can do that at home. You can buy like a bucket, or I'm trying to think of other things.
No, a bucket. You don't have to fill it up. You can pretty much base it. Instead of having masses and masses of latex, you can literally have a bucket with a litre of latex in and a ladle, and you just ladle it over whatever you're doing. You just keep doing it.
Yeah. And this basically gets the full coverage, and it makes it super strong, super durable. And
yeah, once it's finished sort of dripping off, you want to hang it up somewhere with something underneath it, paper or something, in a pretty warm place, and then let it set.
Yeah, latex is far better than paint as well. You can literally peel the stuff off your skin and peel it off the floor, but you can't get it off clothes, so make sure you're wearing overalls or...
Yeah, it really loves anything with fibre, so the carpet would be a no-no. Do not get it on your carpet. There we go. Oh, hair dryers on. Yeah, hair dryers, that really speeds up the curing process of latex. Don't get it too close, but if you gently hair dryer it, it's fantastic. Really speeds
yeah,
up.
make sure you're like a good arm's length away. If you're too close, it'll just bubble up and yeah.
Okay, colouring.
Hand details, this is fun part. Yeah, there's different techniques. You can do like a dry brush in that picture there. You just dip a little bit of paint in and then just dry brush over the top, like a quick over it. And you can really pick out like a shine, give you, that's a rusted metal effect there. Right,
so we colour our latex with anything that's quite got a strong high pigment content, because otherwise it affects the rubberiness basically. So the best thing we found to use is actually silkscreen pigments, because they're so strong that they don't really affect the nature of the rubber. Also, you can use things like a really good acrylic paint. Games Workshop miniature paint is actually quite strong. Yeah, they're really strong. So
anyone play Games Workshop?
anyone who plays miniatures, you'll know. But really, good quality artist acrylics will work. But you've got to make sure you mix them in well. And then you can pretty much, then it will work as paint, won't it? Pretty much. But it is slightly thicker, so you just got to get a bit of a hang of it. But you can get some nice different colours. It'll do steels, it'll do metals, it'll do gold. It does natural colours really well, such as wood. And yeah, it can be painted with detail. But just, any brush you use will get ruined, so just use cheap brushes. We wouldn't use enamel paint usually. It doesn't mix with the latex, because enamels are very different, because latex is basically water-based. Yeah. The fact that if you try and put enamel on anything that's going to flex, such as foam, it can tend to break. So yeah, I would avoid it if you can. Acrylic is not so bad, because it does flex to a certain extent. So just go forward, acrylic should work. Yeah, avoid enamel. Yep, this is colouring going on. Right, that's pretty much it. This is it. We're going to do steampunk weapons we made. So that's just to give you an idea as well that you can make pretty much anything out of it. We make all sorts of big costumes, and you don't just limit ourselves to swords, but again, that's what most people want to learn. And it's a basic thing to start with, basically. It's a really good idea. Yes?
Can you make helmets in basically the same way? You just have like a shaped stone?
You can. The good thing about plastizone, or many of the evozones, is they're actually, you can heat them gently. With a heat gun or even in the oven, again gently, and they become really, really flexible. So you can then mould them over something, a basin, a glass dish, your own head, again, provided you don't put it on too hot. But most of the helmets that we have are made in panels, so you kind of figure out what the panels
There's no core, you wouldn't put a core in.
There's no core, no. But you can always line it with something that gives it a little more of a strength.
Just a quick tip, if you want to make a helmet, a great way to have a basic shape is get a piece of foam and you want it to go around your head that way. Then you want one to go from the back to the top, and you have roughly that shape there, and then build onto that shape. Just a quick, simple tip if you want to make a helmet.
Yeah, we used to start it that way, and then we realised that our heads wouldn't fit in what we made. So I know that sounds really obvious, to build around rather than think, oh, that...
I can't get it on, it's not going
You'd be
on.
amazed, because these things tend to get smaller. They sort of shrink. So yeah, yeah, that's the best thing. Yeah, it would be the best thing. Anything like armour or anything like that, try and use yourself, if it's for you, as the model, the dummy. Because otherwise, you'd be amazed, honestly.
So is that the same with any piece of armour?
Any piece, anything at all. Okay.
Questions? Yeah?
When you're doing kind of the weaponry, etc., as the props kind of thing with the cores, what do you find is kind of realistically the maximum length you'd use on a core to keep kind of, quite strong and not flexing too much and still be able...
Pick the right core for
Yeah.
So if you're making an 8-foot halberd, then you use you can get tubes at anything up to about 30 mil, or you use rods, a solid 16 mil glass fibre rod will probably do it. But tubing is quite good. You can get glass fibre tubes.
How about the basketball hoop we made?
Yeah, we made a basketball hoop, and we just use tubes for that. Yeah, it's using the right rod. Don't use the same. So obviously those thin ones are great for thin katana blades. They're no good for that. So yeah, you can just get a larger tube. I can tell you where to get anything, or just contact us if it ever comes up and you think, oh yeah, those guys don't.
If you guys want tips making your own stuff, we said earlier, we touched base, we run a Twitch channel. Is anyone here on Twitch? Woo! Yeah, we've got a couple. Okay, so Twitch is really easy. All you need is a name, email and a password. It looks like YouTube, it has a massive screen, but instead of we're watching videos that have already been out, it's live watching. So on cameras, we've got 7 rooms in our studio. We only have 3 cameras set up. But we sit and you guys can watch us work. Now,
it's basically a webcam.
Yeah, it's like a webcam. We do argue and we do eat lunch, I apologise. But yeah, and we have a chat where you guys, as long as you follow us, as long as you've liked our page, you can ask questions, you can say like, what are you doing? Or I'm doing this, how would you do this? And that's the best way to ask for tips.
Yeah.
And it's totally free as well.
Yeah, it's live, so you can just ask us any question at any point. Provided we've seen the question, we get to answer it. That kind of is about it. Most people tend to come up afterwards and just with their
Yeah, well, questions? Anyone got any questions?
Okay, well, do check us out. We do a lot more than swords. As I said, we are there to answer anyone's questions if you want.
Yeah, we have a table in what room is it? Like the traders room, where all the merchandise and stuff is. We're right at the back near the mini stage. But come over, I've got a little leaflet that has our Twitch channel on, if you want the address for that. Or you can just ask us questions as well in person, because...
And you always put tweets out to say, I'm doing a Twitch.
I know, I spam Twitter,
That's what I picked up on
watch us, we're live!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.